It's been a while since we spoke properly about Fallout 5 on the channel, mostly because there's just zero news and we know that the game isn't releasing for a while, but that's exactly what I want to discuss today. See, Fallout 5 is at least a decade away, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. I mean, Fallout 4 is turning 8 years old next year, and we know that we might not see the next real game in the franchise until 2030, and that's my wishful thinking. Assuming Starfield doesn't get delayed again, which if you subscribe to me and watch my videos, you'll know that I don't think it will be, and then assuming that Elder Scrolls 6 releases around 2026 to 2027, because it usually takes Bethesda around 4 to 5 years to create a game, we really might not see Fallout 5 until 2030 at best, 15 years since the last real installment in the franchise. Yeah, we don't talk about this one. This is obviously a very big and growing concern with Bethesda fans. How long it takes them to make their games is shocking. And we understand that it's hard to make these games in order to get such a massive replayable open world and just good RPGs in general. It takes a while to make. I mean, they've been working on Starfield alone for like 8 years. It takes a while, and I think as fans we're very understanding of that, at least the majority of us. We've been patiently waiting for the Elder Scrolls 6 for over a decade at this point, right? So yeah, I'd say we're pretty understanding and patient, but again, this is a growing concern for the fans, and it grows more and more after each release of any new game that BGS put out. So sure, Starfield comes out next year, and if you're like me, you're very excited for it, but by 2025 at best, we're gonna have seen everything there is to see for the most part in Starfield, and then Starfield 2 won't release until, what, 2040? Elder Scrolls 7 will release when? 2047? Fallout 6 for 2050? I mean, that's the reality. I'm 23 now, and I could be in my 30s when the next Fallout game drops, right? And this video isn't me complaining about this. And considering Fallout is my favourite video game franchise, this is just a concern for me. And look, like I said, I understand it. These games wouldn't be good if they didn't take this long, right? Or maybe they could be good, but they wouldn't be anywhere near as good. The thing that makes us want to play Skyrim again, even 10 years after its release, is the fact that the world is so big and there's so much to do and so many different ways to play. And obviously mods help with that too, but I don't want to be 87 finally getting my hands on the sick Fallout game, right? I've said this before, but since Skyrim's release, I have graduated high school, graduated 3 years of college, my 5-year-old sister came into existence, I've moved out of my childhood home, and I've become a YouTube partner, and in that time, Bethesda have shown a maximum of like 36 seconds for the next Elder Scrolls game. Now, I didn't want to make this video just a bitch about Bethesda not making games faster, not at all, so please don't take it the wrong way. Instead, I want to discuss what I personally feel as a fan they could be doing to get these games out faster, and things that they could be doing to feed the hunger of these games, but specifically in this video we are going to be talking about Fallout 5. First thing is obviously remakes. We have spoken about this a billion times on the channel, but remakes are the way to go here. Remaster Fallout 1 or 2, remaster Fallout 3, remaster Fallout New Vegas, there's a lot of options there. Add the console mod support, update the combat, improve the FPS, update the graphics a little bit, and resell it with all of their DLCs. Hell, even add a creation club if you really want to, right? Just do something. Imagine an announcement from Bethesda confirming a Fallout 3 Special Edition or a New Vegas remastered, right? We would all be pretty happy with that, I think. Now, I don't want to stay on the topics of remakes for too long because, as I said, we have spoken about it a lot on a channel, and I mean a lot, so let's just move on. Now, another option I feel Bethesda have for all of their games is to open up dedicated studios. An Elder Scrolls focused studio, a Fallout focused studio, and a Starfield focused studio, right? Let your staff maybe even move around to whichever games they want to create, but have a small dedicated team working on these games too, non-stop, right? We could be getting new BGS games every couple of years. I've never understood why Bethesda doesn't do this anyway. I've been wondering this since like 2012, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not a game developer, I'm not Todd Howard, so maybe this isn't possible, I don't know, but to me, it just seems like a no-brainer. I've said before, I would absolutely love to sit down with Todd and have a discussion just as a fan and say, why won't you remake games? Why don't you create dedicated studios? As a fan, help me understand. No hate, just enlighten me, right? Educate me. Again, we have to go back to letting somebody else create the game. You let Obsidian do it and it became the most loved game in the franchise, but you could go beyond this. Why not let another company create spin-offs? They don't have to be New Vegas 2 or Fallout 5. There is so much you can expand on in the Fallout universe. Imagine a Fallout Canada game, Fallout London. I mean, we're all excited for that mod, right? Fallout China, Fallout Japan, Fallout Australia. I mean, just imagine the creatures in a Fallout Australia game. And you know what, I can honestly understand why Bethesda doesn't want Fallout to go to another company. It's their game, I get it. They also receive way too much shit from New Vegas fanboys, and look, I love New Vegas as much as the next one, believe me. But that's definitely another reason why they don't want to give the rights to somebody else again. I mean, imagine you do something nice, you let someone else sell your product to make the buyers happy, because you know that you won't be making the product yourself for a number of years, and in return, the buyers give you hate for it. It can't feel good for the people at Bethesda, so believe me, I get it, but at this point something needs to be done, and not just with Fallout, but with Bethesda's long video game developing cycle in general. We've all been thinking as technology gets better they'll be able to get games out faster, but it looks like that's not happening. You know, we all thought Bethesda are now owned by Microsoft, they'll get games out faster because they'll have more money behind them or whatever, and again, nothing really changed. This is a problem, and we know it's a problem, and so did Bethesda and Microsoft for that matter. And you guys know that I've lost all hopes of any Fallout remakes after the awful Fallout anniversary celebration. Really all we have to look forward to in the nearby future is the Fallout TV show, but again, it's not a new game, which is what we really need. Now the final thing I think Bethesda could be doing is keeping their single player games updated. Now what do I mean by this? Let me explain. Instead of creating online versions of single player games such as ESO, which I actually like, and Fallout 76, which I don't like, just update the single player ones. Look at all of these Fallout 76 DLC, sure they suck, but imagine if we didn't have that. Imagine if instead Bethesda continued releasing DLCs for Fallout 4. Considering Fallout 4 has a more daily, weekly and monthly player base than 76 anyway, it doesn't seem like a bad idea, at least to me. And yeah, I get it, 76 makes them more money because it's subscription based, but you could add something like that into a single player game. Imagine you pay £100 or dollars or whatever a year, and with that subscription you get a bunch of the new DLCs and add-ons, and if you don't want to sign up for the subscription, you just buy the DLCs separately as you usually would. Think of it as a recurring season pass, right? There is just so much potential there. Add a short 4 to 5 hour long DLC like Automatron every 6 to 8 months, finish the cut content and put it out as an update or a DLC. We'd all like to see that underwater vault that was scrapped from Fallout 4, right? Imagine a Gunner DLC where you can finally join the Gunners, even an Enclave DLC, even just workshop item DLCs would sell. But that is pretty much my thoughts. I just wanted to make a video discussing what I personally feel Bethesda could be doing, and hey, if you disagree with me or with any of this, just let me know in the comments and let me know why. I'm always down to be educated and hear other people's opinions, as long as it's presented in a polite manner. Anyway, that is going to do it for me. Drop the video a like for me if you haven't already, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. I cover absolutely everything from Bethesda, everything from Fallout to Starfield to Elder Scrolls, leaks, news, updates, discussions, and a lot more. So if that's your thing, consider joining us, I'd appreciate it. As always, I thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next one.